Time is now 6:39. It's time to connect to Congress. It's a segment where we talk directly with Washington lawmakers who represent us here in the central San Joaquin Valley. And this morning, we're talking with Democratic Representative from California's 21st Congressional District, Jim Costa, live from his office in Washington, D.C. Good morning, Congressman Costa. Thanks for being with us.
Good morning, Liz. It's, as I always say, great to be on great day, and it's nice to see you this morning.
Thank you so much again. Let's get right to it. The House just passed the bill extending the Affordable Care Act tax credits for 3 years with bipartisan support, including 17 Republicans. This could really help health coverage, make health coverage affordable for millions of Americans. What role did you play in building that support, and how do you think that approach is going to influence negotiations when it comes to the Senate side?
Well, I was one of the original signers to bring the bill to the floor, a procedure that is used occasionally but seldom successful. And the fact that we had bipartisan support from our Republican colleagues to bring this measure to the floor for a vote last week was significant. And during this time, over the last month or so, we've been in conversations with not only our Republican colleagues to extend the tax credit for the Affordable Care Act, but also on the Senate. And we just had a meeting last week with the coalition of these Democratic and Republican senators and those of us with the problem solvers. And we're trying to see if we can get the administration, the White House, to agree on it may not be 3 years, maybe a 2 years extension of these tax credits with some caps, some changes, but that would continue because right now, and we have the period to extend. But my constituents, 22,000 families, are looking at 200 to 300 to 600% increase in the cost of their health care, and they simply won't be able to afford it, period.
How confident are you that the Senate will be taking some action on this?
Well, I think my hope, my best estimate is based upon our conversations next week when we look at what we can agree for both houses and get hopefully the administration's willingness to sign off, whether it be for 3 years or 2 years. It's too important, and we need to have a longer-term plan to ensure that Americans, first and foremost, want to know that they've got access to affordable health care, and that's what this is all about.
Congressman, switching gears now, there have been more calls for accountability after an ICE agent shot and killed a woman in Minneapolis, a U.S. citizen. What specific legislative or oversight actions do you support to ensure ICE's use of force policies protect the civil rights of Americans?
Well, I think that all Americans find it reprehensible to think that they could be going to their Target store in their neighborhood and be apprehended and arrested when you're a U.S. citizen or being asked for your papers. Our normal police work that is hard, that is always focused on law enforcement, protecting the people, our citizens, but understanding how to use effective police force to do that. I think with doubling the increase in the ICE agents, there's not adequate time for the kind of training that normally we see with the Fresno Police Department or any of our police departments in California around the country. These ICE agents have been hired within the last 4 to 6 months. Some have little or no training, except what they're afforded by this. And I think that Congress's responsibility is to provide oversight. And I think that there is a whole host of concerns with the way Kristi Noem is moving forward, putting in the level of concentration of ICE agents in Minneapolis that in some instances exceeds the local police force doesn't make any sense in these videos. I think most Americans just have real problems with the way they're approaching that. Everyone agrees with the president's notion about going after criminals, gang members, the 62 cartels that are engaged in human trafficking, trafficking of drugs, trafficking of weapons. That's the worst of the worst. But that's not what we're seeing today.
You mentioned Sorry to interrupt you there. You mentioned Secretary Noem again. We do want to emphasize that she says that this agent was acting in self-defense in that deadly shooting. Congressman Costa, before we let you go, we do want to ask you a question regarding the breaking news that we've been following this hour. We just talked about moments ago, the Associated Press reporting personnel at the U.S. military base in Qatar have been advised to evacuate. What are you guys hearing there on Capitol Hill about this?
Well, it's a concern. The president has talked about trying to play a role in the demonstrations and the killings that are taking place in Iran. Whether or not this action that you noted in Qatar is a prelude to military action by the United States, we have not been briefed on, although the president has made public utterances. But I think what members of Congress, and I'm on the Foreign Relations Committee, are looking for from this administration is what's the plan? What's the plan with Venezuela now that we've achieved Maduro's elimination? What's the plan with Iran? With the president's making a lot of statements and comments, but he campaigned on the fact that he did not want to engage American troops on the ground in foreign countries. These two efforts don't seem to be consistent with one another. And so we're going to continue to watch this to see what happens with any actions with Iran and this horrific regime that the Ayatollah and his thugs have, made a way of life in Iran, which is obviously not acceptable.
Things changing by the moment all around the world and right here. And again, you guys are all watching it all there from Capitol Hill. Congressman Jim Costa, thank you so much for your time this morning. As always, great day. We'll be right back.